We're all about the Archers, and we are here today. We are so excited because we're here to talk to Tony Turner, who plays the one and only Vince Casey. Tony, welcome to the podcast.
All right, Bab.
Right, that's all. That's all we need to hear, Tony. First things first, Tony. First things first, Tony. That's the question everybody wants to ask: Is Elizabeth way out of Vince's league?
Yes.
Please expand. Pray expand.
By 100 miles. By 100 miles. But well, they're both very sharp business people, and I think that's a very attractive thing for them. Anyway, I think they're a kind of an age, and Vince is obviously very, very attracted by Elizabeth's home.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It's one of those things that just looks as if it should never work in a million years, and yet for some weird reason it does. Yeah.
Is there a slight Mrs. Merton element, with Elizabeth? What was it that you saw in the multimillionaire Vince Casey that attracted you?
You could kind of turn that round, couldn't you? You could say, what was it about Elizabeth's stately home that attracted you?
Yeah.
No, I don't think she's bothered about his money.
No,
I really don't. Because actually I think he's on the edge of being booted out all the time anyway. Really, if he tells her one more lie, or goes behind her back about one more thing, it's nothing to do with the money. I don't think. No,
definitely. So, which of Vince's characteristics do you think you're most like?
Oh God,
if any.
Well, I'm not a vegetarian. I don't know. Well, I think he's very well-meaning. I think he's very well-meaning. I think he always wants to do the right thing by his family and by Elizabeth and even by people in business, but and friends. But he's a bull in a china shop, very often. But he's very well-meaning, and I'm quite well-meaning. That's similar. I go about things all the wrong way as well.
But Tony, you have appeared in so many things. You have a long career of acting, and yet joining the Archers cast, have you noticed how that it's different with all the fandom that there is? Have you experienced any of that?
Well, yeah. I mean, most of my career, and this is, I think, my 41st year in it, most of it has been in the theatre. Lots of bits for telly as well, but and stints on the radio. But this is the biggest fuss anybody's ever made about anything I've ever done. People go a bit mad. But I think I was telling you earlier, I'd just done a play, and one of the guys in the play, his partner, discovered that I was Vince Casey, and we were actually in the bar. We were in the bar at the National Theatre, and she went really kind of wobbly on me, and she said, "No, don't talk." Oh, okay. She didn't want to ruin it for herself, and then from that moment on, every week, he would come in with a big batch of freshly baked sausage rolls, and we all had some, but I had double. I had double sausage roll because I'm in the Archers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever done anything like that before, ever.
Yeah, and you run an abattoir as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because when I told people we were interviewing you, I was asked, what does he sound like in real life? And you sound just like Vince. You're a Brummie then, by the sounds of it, yeah? Are you?
Well, I am. He's a bit broader than I am. Well, I hope he is. I've lived in London for 30 years and worked all over the place. So my accent has taken a bit of a bashing on the way.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's not difficult to slip into
No.
Vince.
Is it nice to go back to your Brummie roots then?
Well, yeah, it is. I love it. I love doing it. I've got plenty of family up there as well, so I get to see my family when I'm up there.
Yeah.
No, I really love it. It's great. What makes me smile a bit is that a lot of people seem confused about that I'm not Jasper Carrot, or that he. I'm playing both parts. I'm playing Vince and Sykesy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I sound. Do I sound like Jasper?
No.
No.
No. Would have been fun if you had some scenes with Jasper, wouldn't it? I don't think you did you?
No, I never have. No, I don't know. He's still around, I think. Is he, Sykesy? But so it could happen, I suppose, but not so far. No.
Well, we've never seen you in the same room, so we don't have proof. It could be. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, he's considerably older than I am, I think, Jasper.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, there were lots of stories online about this whole kind of confusing all the Brummie accents. And,
there was an article in the Daily Mail about it, apparently.
Yeah, saying about it being a bit racist because you couldn't tell the difference between Brummie accents.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. Yeah, absolutely. No, it was crazy. But just thinking about your character, what's it like playing someone who's kind of well-meaning but also a bit dodgy? So you're not the good guy and you're not the bad guy.
Well, that's
you get to do the best of both worlds.
That's the best thing about it, isn't it? I mean, even to this day, really, people don't quite know whether I'm playing some sort of long game.
Yeah.
And I've got my feet under the lower Loxley kitchen table, and maybe I've got designs on the estate, or whatever. Or at least undercutting everyone in business and putting them all out of business and grabbing everything for myself, Well, and that still could be what I'm after. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's particularly
I love that. Sorry.
It's particularly when I hear you say, or Vince say, "my mate," and it's just got this edge to it that I just.
Yeah.
Oh,
Take your cringe a bit.
Well, no, it's not evil, but it's bad. He's nasty, but he's not evil at times. And it's that spectrum of nastiness.
Yeah. No, he's not evil. He's not evil, but he's a compulsive businessman, I think. I think the deal is always being worked on in his head.
Yeah.
Even if he's buying a bottle of milk in the shop,
Yeah.
He's on the lookout.
Yeah, so Vince always knows people, doesn't he? He knows people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How much fun is it winding up David Archer?
Yeah. Yeah, it's great fun. I think we've reached a bit of a compromise now. For now. But no, it's great fun. Yeah, making his life miserable.
Because he were. I think it was, for me, Vince's lowest point when he demanded the £40,000 back, and then was so cruel to Ben over Beth. That was. I don't think there's been a lower moment, has there?
No, I mean that took me by surprise actually, but then I suppose it's his darling daughter that you're messing with, and nobody does that, No. And I mean I don't have any daughters, but I can understand that sending you off the rails a little bit, messing your daughter around. But that was brutal. It
was brutal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
they're okay. They're okay now. They're okay for a while now, I think.
Right.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think Elizabeth has done a fair bit of stitching up between the two of them. Actually, she's done a lot of smoothing over, I think, to make sure that they can at least talk to each other. Yeah, I don't know whether I actually got the money back. Nobody's ever. I've not seen the bank statement with that on it.
Yeah.
They started to pay it back, didn't they? They were determined to pay
Yeah.
it back, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, but then I don't know. So
Yes, I think we believe he had
one of those unresolved storylines, Tony.
well,
quite a few of those.
they'll pick it up again in about 5 years' time, probably.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and you'll claim interest, no doubt.
Yeah. Vince will suddenly say one day, "Oh, by the way,
my mate.
where's my 40 grand?"
Go on, Katie. You had a question.
Yeah, no, it was. Do you ever see Vince becoming a bit of a gang lord of Ambridge and kind of taking over a little bit? And who would he have in his gang? Would he bring his own mates in, like my mate, or would it be people who are already in Ambridge?
Well, he's got Freddie. He's got Freddie in. I mean, he's taken him right under his wing. I don't know if gang lord is quite the right name for him, but I don't think there's anything really threatening about Vince. Certainly not physically, anyway. But I wouldn't put it past him to build a little empire in and around Ambridge. Yeah. I have no idea who he'd have on his side. Freddie. I think Freddie. I could train Freddie up to be a very good right hand man. Yeah, and then I just need an enforcer. Then maybe a Grundy,
Yeah, or a jazzer.
or a jazzer. Yeah, if I buy him enough beer. Yeah, the same with his. With his Philippine connections.
Oh yeah.
He's quite used to jetting off to places and doing business. So that there's that side of it. He could become some international tycoon.
Yes.
Maybe.
It could go in so many different directions, I suppose.
Yeah. Or he could just end up in jail.
There is that, yes. Can you remember your first day on set, and had you been pre-warned that you were going to end up with Elizabeth at that early time?
No. Nobody's ever. I don't think anyone is ever pre-warned about anything. No, I had no idea. I remember very clearly sitting in the little green room waiting to do the read-through, and the wonderful June Spencer sitting down next to me, and we had a little chat, and then she did the Times crossword while we did the read-through. So, God, wow, talk about sharp as a tack. And then I just remember vaguely winding a lot of people up, winding up Justin and nudging his elbow when he's shooting, and and undercutting everybody for the abattoir, and just being a bit of grit in the shaking things up a bit, which is always a good thing, isn't
it? Grit in the Ambridge oyster,
yes.
I'm a great admirer of your acting technique, Tony, because in the Archers, you don't give the impression of performing the lines.
Good.
But speaking them in some natural conversation. So how do you go about saying the lines as if you're just talking rather than performing them?
I think I just I think the main thing is read. I always have an ear for things, so when I'm reading. When I read a script, I can hear it. I can always hear it, and I think the job is getting what was in the writer's head onto into the microphone, and that is just about being able to hear those patterns of speech. And I am a brummie, so it's so I can quite naturally just fall into those rhythms of speech like a brummie. It's I was born with it.
But I guess you try and just forget the studio, forget the microphones, and just be the person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you find some writers write better for your character than others?
I think some writers just they're all great. They're all wonderful. I hasten to.
Yes.
But I do think I think some writers are just generally better than others. Like some actors are better than others,
Yeah.
you know, and like everyone else. I don't. Actually, there's only one or two of the writers that I've ever met, so I don't really know them. And I know that one or two of them are Brummies, I think, and they're probably the ones that come up with the goods for me, you know.
Yeah.
So do they give you much of a background when you're told that you're going to be Vince? Do they give you much apart from the fact that he's a Brummie, or do you kind of come up with your own little background information to start with?
They gave me the kind of bare bones that he's a Brummie and he's a businessman, and he might be a little bit of a wide boy, you know. He can be ruthless in business. Not loads of detail and no real backstory. I think I learned about my family after I started. I don't think I don't, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think I had all that information from the outset. I think I learned things about my character and my family as I went along, you know. Yeah.
Do you like
we're all doing that. Sorry.
Do you like your fictional family? Now that you've met them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of them I've worked with on the radio before, Sue Jameson, who plays my mum, who hasn't been around for a long time. She's lovely, and I worked with her on a radio thing before, and we discovered that we were born about half a mile apart. Yeah, in Birmingham. She was born in Bark Green, and I was born in Rednall, which is like next door. You know. Yeah. But no, I hadn't met any of the others before, but they're all gorgeous. Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah.
Even though I've kicked one of them out and I haven't seen her since.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, yes.
It's all done with love. It's all done with
yes. You've got these, some of the scenes are set sort of almost round the kitchen table with family moments, and other scenes you've got where you're helping Jolene do some research on the background of the dog owners and all of that. What do you prefer doing, the cozy scenes or the sort of more action-packed or more involvement scenes?
I like them all, but for different reasons. I mean, I love the cozy family scenes that they just drop in now and then because each time they happen, they're a little bit more comfortable with each other and a little bit more relaxed in each other's company, and I think that's a great way to just show how they're getting on and how they've now been together for quite a long time. But I also really love upsetting people and you know, or just entirely going the wrong way about trying to help people. I love all of it. I love all of it. I don't want to upset anyone. I just have a knack for it. That's all.
Because when Vince is nice, when Vince is nice, he's really nice. He helps Jolene. He gives Freddie a job. He knows when Freddie isn't telling the truth about his DJing career. You know, so when Vince is nice, he's super nice. It's just this other side to him, particularly with Ben Archer, as we've said, you know, that really made me very cross. And it must be interesting.
You also have to remember where he came from, Vince, and he came from a very, very poor background and has pulled himself up by the bootstraps completely. You know, nobody's ever helped him, and so dealing with these, I suppose, you know, compared with him anyway, these entitled people, these comfortable people, who've never really, really struggled like he has. I mean, they've had their struggles in their lives, but they haven't had poverty or, so it's not that surprising when he doesn't always know how to deal when he can upset people sometimes because they're from different planets. They
Yes. Yeah.
Mm. And he tends to run rings around people as well because he's very quick-witted, isn't he? He's a quick thinker. He thinks on his feet. Yeah,
he's quicker than I am. Tell you. Yeah.
Now, I think I'm right in thinking in the 90s, tell me if I'm wrong, but you appeared in a few episodes of Coronation Street.
Oh, God.
Is that right? Yeah. But you've now appeared, if my research is correct, now in 61 episodes so far on The Archers.
Oh,
apparently. Yeah, apparently, yeah.
You were going to say Coronation Street. I was going to say, where's the
No.
money?
Far fewer. But in terms of soaps, how do the two compare? The Archers and Coronation Street.
Well, the Coronation Street were really one-off things. I think I played 4 or 5 different characters in Coronation Street, and it was a really long time ago. I think I was a copper and I was a truck driver and a security guy. It was those little fill-in things.
Yeah.
There wasn't any continuity to any of them, really.
Right.
I think the most I ever did in a string of episodes was about 3. I think I played Les Battersby's boss when he was the security guard on the Red Wreck when they found Roman relics. Yeah, so I was his boss. But apart from that, it was like jump in and out really quickly,
Yes.
So it's brilliant to have some continuity and some family network, and it's great. It's great. I love it.
But I was also wondering whether it's different working in a TV soap compared to a radio soap. They're both very long running, so they're very slick. They're both very slick machines, aren't they?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's very quick. It's very quick. But with TV, even being very quick involves a lot of hanging around and doing nothing, And then when you're on, and you've got to get it done really quickly. Of course, The Archers is sort of 13, 14-minute episodes, and they're recording every day. But it's quite a feat to get that number of episodes done in a week. And they're a brilliant team. They know exactly what they're doing. They'll come in with a script that's probably a minute too long. They know exactly what they want to cut if we need to cut, and it's all it's a very, very slick machine. It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
So at least with the Coronation Street ones, you didn't have to worry about the continuity with all the different characters. No. So with Vince, do you keep a track of all his bits and bobs and families and what he's been up to and everything, or do you kind of rely on the script to kind of help you along as you're going? Really,
well, probably a bit of both. I can remember. Yeah. I can remember a certain amount. I mean, I'm not going to write a Vince autobiography or anything. So I don't remember everything, but it's fine. It's okay because there is always somebody who will point you in the right direction. There's always somebody who'll say, "Yeah, but you did that 3 years ago,"
And you go, "Did I?"
Yeah. I don't think there's an actor alive who could remember. I wonder how much David Archer remembers.
Yeah,
probably about 3 weeks. Sorry, Tim. You probably remember all of it.
We haven't had him on yet.
Oh, you'll love him. You'll love him.
Tony, you mentioned being on at the National Theatre. Is that something that might happen again, that we could go and see you? Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I don't know how much I'm supposed to tell you, but I've just done probably the job I'm most proud of ever in my life, which was a play that we did a run of at the National Theatre in the Olivier Theatre. I think it was my 10th play at the National Theatre, 9th or 10th. It was called Dear England. It's by James Graham, who's like the man of the moment. and it was about the England football team under the management of Gareth Southgate, and we had Joseph Fiennes playing Gareth Southgate absolutely brilliantly, and I got to play. I played 4 parts. I played Steve Holland, who's Gareth Southgate's assistant coach. I played Greg Dyke briefly, because he used to be head of the FA, Greg Dyke. I played Graham Taylor, former England manager, and I played a lollipop man for about 30 seconds. It was all incredibly quick changes and stuff.
Yes.
But it's a great play. It's a wonderful piece of work, and people come out of the theatre feeling full of joy. So anyway, we did it at the National Theatre, and then we did it at the Prince Edward Theatre, which hadn't had a play in it, a straight play, rather than a musical, for about 40 years or something. So we did a run there, which finished in January. Now they're talking about, they're actively looking to bring it back next year, possibly back into the National Theatre, and possibly to do a run in Manchester.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic!
I saw it, Tony. I did see it.
Oh, you saw it?
I saw it on a National Theatre Live. Yes, I saw it in a cinema, but it was fantastic. And I think even, I mean, Philippa, sport is anathema to Philippa, but even Philippa, I think, would enjoy it, even though it's about football.
It's not just about sport or football.
No, it's not really about football, is it? No, it's about a philosophy and approach.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm speaking to you from Nottinghamshire, and James Graham is from Nottinghamshire.
Yes.
Because he wrote Sherwood, the recent TV drama. So we're very proud of our James Graham, and he's about to put a new play on at Nottingham Playhouse called Punch, which I'm going to see next month. So
he was on the telly this morning talking about it.
Yeah, he's prolific, absolutely prolific, brilliant. He's a brilliant playwright.
He's a wonderful, the most modest, humble, lovely man, but with a geek's knack for detail. And the first play he got on at the National Theatre was a play called This House.
Yeah, saw that as well.
You saw that? Well, you saw me. You didn't know. You didn't recognise me at all, did you?
Now I do.
Well, I played, I think, 9 parts in that.
Wow.
and I, actually, me and one other actor are the only people to have done every single performance of that play that's ever been done, because we did it twice at the National Theatre. We did it at the Garrick Theatre. We did it in Chichester, and we did it on tour.
That's quite something.
Yeah. So I've known James for quite a long time. And he's just brilliant.
He is brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yep.
Who would you say has been your favourite person to play then? So not just Vince, obviously, but obviously he's number one.
Ever.
But just any of the people you've played.
Wow. Do you mean like real people that I've played?
It could be, or just the Lollipop Man. You never know.
Oh no! Well, I mean, I've done some Shakespeare, which I've loved. I played many years ago. I played Iago, and I loved playing Iago. And I played Macbeth, and I loved doing that. Not supposed to say that. I'm going to have to go outside and swear and spit at someone. I love just saying those words. I did another James Graham play called Ink. Did you see it, Quentin?
I don't think I saw that one. I've seen most of his stuff.
That was at the Almeida.
He's done so many.
Yeah, that was at the Almeida Theatre and in the West End, and it was about Rupert Murdoch and his him buying the Sun in the late 60s and turning it into what we see today.
Yes.
And I played the first sports editor of the Sun. I loved it. I loved playing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tony,
good laugh.
we've talked about Shakespeare, we've talked about the National Theatre, but we need to get on to an even more serious point now, and that is the subject of biscuits. What do you think is Vince's favourite biscuit? I'm not aware of a meat-based biscuit, although there could be one, but if if Vince had a favourite biscuit, what do you think it would be?
I feel like I don't know. Yeah, no, there aren't any meat ones. What kind
A
of
cow
question is
biscuit.
that?
She's obsessed by biscuits, Tony. Sorry about this. I
think
you know those
Free
chunk, you know
biscuits,
those
that's what he likes.
what?
Yeah,
Free biscuits.
freebie.
Free,
Yes.
you know those,
free
you know
one.
those, you know that those boxes of chunky chocolate biscuits you get in a nice blue box in a very famous high street store.
Yes.
I think you'd munch your way through that as Vince.
I think
we
he'd like
would.
anything that looked fancy.
Yeah.
Looked like it cost a few bob, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something you've got to scrape silver paper off. Gets my
Well,
vote.
and he really got to know Elizabeth at a seminar, so maybe it was the biscuits,
Yes.
the seminar biscuits that you get wrapped in plastic that you can take.
Yes.
Maybe he'd like that. Well,
Yeah,
Tony,
yeah.
we come on to now the questions from our Facebook group. So we're just going to go through those. Please don't, see what you think. Quentin, you've got the first one.
Yeah, Tony, this one comes from Barry, and he says, I've enjoyed your Archer's progression from comic baddie to fluffy rogue. What do you think Vince's ambitions are in his relationship with Elizabeth? Love or Lord of the Manor, or both?
Well, I think on balance, love. Because I don't think he will ever be allowed to be Lord of the Manor by Elizabeth.
Yes.
He might be a very sharp businessman, but I don't think he'd ever put one past Elizabeth. So
Okay.
I'm going to say love, definitely. Yeah.
Hurrah, hurrah.
Yeah.
Good shout. We like that. So I've got one from Abby, and she said, if you weren't already playing Vince, which Archer's character would you most and least like to play, and why?
Most and least. Oh, that's hard.
It is. There's a lot to choose from.
Everybody wants to play a baddie, don't they? You know. So yes, one of the many Archer's baddies, probably. It's an old friend of mine played. What's his name? Who was locked up for modern slavery?
Oh,
Philip
Phil.
Moss.
Philip Archer.
Philip Moss.
Philip Moss. Yeah.
Philip
Yeah,
Moss.
that was. Yeah, I wouldn't have minded playing that. He's in jail, I suppose, isn't he? So he might come.
He
back.
is. He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's old Andy Hockley, my old friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, a baddie. I feel like I'm in the perfect position because you can, you know, there are some characters that you just know how they're going to react to everything. They can be predictable. They're great stories, but I don't think you can ever predict what's going to come out of Vince's mouth, really.
No.
And I like that. So I don't know if that answers your question at all, but I like playing Vince.
No,
Well, that's good.
That's great. Next question is from Sue, who says, Hi, Tony. I'm sure you're a very nice man, and I have no complaints about your acting. You convey the character well. But the truth is, I really don't like Vince very much. Can you convert me, please, and say what you think his redeeming qualities are?
He's a very caring man.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's a very caring, quite sensitive soul. And, you know, he'd never do you a bad turn unless there was money involved. That probably hasn't done it, has it really? But he's full of love, Vince. He's full of love. And he's full of relish for life. He likes a good steak. He loves his family. He loves his Elizabeth. He's full of love. He's not unpopular with his employees, so he's not some sort of terrible hard taskmaster. Oh God, I was just about to mention something that hasn't been on yet. I can't do that.
Ooh.
He's a salt of the earth, very solid guy. You can absolutely rely on him. You can.
Okay. Well, we shall look forward to Sue's response in our Facebook group to see if she's convinced by that, Tony. Anyway, we got one from Dawn now. She says, can you foresee a time when the Casey and Archer families might build bridges and become a force to be reckoned with?
Yeah, I can. I think it's a long game, that.
Yeah.
But I can see it. I can see that happening. I think the longer he's with Elizabeth and proves himself to be a good partner to Elizabeth, the better he'll seem to the Archers, I think. If he's looking after their girl.
Yeah.
And
he's just got to stop winding up David, hasn't he, really?
yeah, no.
It's impossible.
Keep doing it.
No, they've got to become friends so that he can start the process all over again, I think.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know if they'll ever be a force to be reckoned with, but it'll be an interesting roller coaster ride, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've got a bit of a curveball from Pam.
Oh,
she
hello.
wants to know, does Vince like Marmite?
Are you glad you come on this podcast, Tony?
All the food.
It's filling in a lot of detail for the characters. Does he like Marmite?
I suppose Vince is a bit like Marmite, really. You know,
Yeah.
love and hate him.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
Oh, I'm surprised.
I'm going to say no,
Yeah.
especially for your breakfast. Instead of a couple of sausages and a nice fried egg. Marmite, no.
Next question
like
is...
a bit of Bovril.
Oh,
Bovril, right? Okay.
Bovril, yes. Marmite, no. The next question is from Angie, who said, "Could you ask Tony if he has ever visited an abattoir and if he thinks he could do Vince's job?"
No, and no. Good God, no. To do that day in, day out, to be in I'm sure he does a very good job and he runs a very good company and their standards of animal welfare are all very good, but to do that all day, every day, no.
Well, on a lighter note, finally from Max. Hello, Tony. Do you ever see Elizabeth becoming Vince's fourth wife?
Well, yes, I can. Yeah, I mean, I can. I don't know whether she can. But I can. Yeah. Although the longer we go on as we are, the more likely he is to think, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I suppose.
It's just we had Sunny Ormond on the other week, and she said that actually, as actors, the actors prefer to remain unmarried because then you get more interesting storylines, more spiky storylines.
That's true, isn't it? Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. I don't know. If we ever do, I think it's quite a way off. I think it's a long way off. Yeah.
Oh, well, it maintains your longevity in the Archers, then, Tony.
Please.
That's the main. Yeah.
Well, Tony, every time we interview a cast member, we ask them a question to put to the next actor coming on. And as Quentin's mentioned, the last person we interviewed was Sunny, who plays Lillian. And she asked the question that you've just been asked, but maybe you've got a different slant on it. But so Sunny, who plays Lillian, said, "When is Vince going to make an honest woman of Elizabeth?"
No pressure.
Well, I don't think I can give you a date or anything. And in Vince's case, I don't know if it's making her an honest woman at all, marrying her. She's pretty honest now. You know? She's more honest than him, I guess. But yeah, way off in the dim and distant future, I think. Yeah.
Perhaps you should rephrase the question: when are you going to make a dishonest woman of her? Then, yes.
Anytime she likes. As soon as possible. Twice on Fridays.
With Bovril. Yeah.
Well, honestly, Tony, it's just been wonderful to talk to you and hear more about you and about Vince. Honestly, we're so grateful for you coming on. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Not
thank you.
at all. Anytime. Great pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you.